everyone, and welcome to Classical Singing Made Simple. My name is Maddie Hendricks, and I'm a classically trained coloratura soprano, hoping to make classical singing more fun, interesting, and exciting for everyone. Today, I wanted to show you something that most people never see. What actually goes into preparing one opera aria? So I've been working on this beautiful Italian Mozart aria lately, and it's just over 2 minutes long. It's very short. And the other day I spent, I'd say probably 30-45 minutes translating it from Italian to English, word for word. And believe it or not, translating it is considered the easy part. So the aria that I'm working on is Saltro che lacrime from Mozart's opera La Clemenza di Tito. And I'm working on the role, I'm singing in the opera, the role of Servilia. And for just a quick story setup, the emperor has survived an assassination attempt. The man who tried to kill him is Servilia's brother. And in this aria, Saltro che lacrime, Servilia gently but urgently tells the woman who caused all of this, Viteria, that basically tears aren't enough. If you want to save him, you have to speak. You have to speak up. So already the emotional stakes, as you can imagine, are pretty high. So just some setup there. So translation-wise, with any aria, whether it's really, really short or very, very long, some of the arias I sing for specifically the bel canto period can be very, very long, 7 to 8 minutes long. This one was about 2 minutes long. So this work really requires a lot of patience and dedication and diligence. Personally, I don't speak Italian fluently yet, but I have been studying the language itself for about 18 months now. In school, in academia, when you go to study voice performance and want to really be an opera singer, you study what's called diction, which is basically knowing the sounds of the words and how to pronounce the words from a very technical standpoint. You use the International Phonetic Alphabet, and it's basically this alphabet of symbols that tell you the sounds that make up the words. So we don't necessarily in diction learn the actual grammatical things like, what's the word, what's a noun, an adjective, the syntax of the sentence. But we learn diction. So, but I at this point now, being out of school and as a young artist a couple years now, beginning my professional career, have actually really loved starting to study the language itself. But anyway, for this I used Google Translate, and because it's very accessible as a blind singer, and also my Italian-English dictionary and my knowledge of the language itself so far to really dig deep. So what did I actually do to do this? Oh gosh. I took the Italian text, really just 4 short lines, and translated it word for word. So I put every single word into the dictionary, into Google Translate, and and I knew some of the words from my Italian study, and I translated it, every single word. Oh my gosh, I know it's stressful to think about, but yes, it's what we do as opera singers. Yes, but I mean, I can definitely say that knowing the language absolutely helps with this, and I'm so glad I now know. I would say intermediate, beginner intermediate Italian, so it's not so bad anymore. It used to be really bad in school when I didn't know. And so this isn't just like a poetic translation or like the vibe of the piece, but literally like verb, noun, adjective, like what does each word mean, each and every word. So also in Aria books, there are like books that have a collection of different arias in them. Sometimes the translation will be written out, but it's not a literal one. So I like those, but I go in and translate every word because I like to understand, for example, like where the action verb is or where the adjective is, because I might give a gesture at some point, or an adjective might mean like I change my facial expression for acting. It really helps the acting. So for example, the opening line, s'altro che lacrime, per lui non tenti. That doesn't just mean only tears. It means something like closer to like, if you attempt nothing other than tears. That word tenti, attempt, is really huge for me. It's like telling me like this character is talking about like action, not just like emotion. It's action. If you attempt, non tenti, and then this line says, another line says, non gioverà. Non gioverà. That verb, gioverà, comes from the verb giovare, which means to be useful or to help. So she's saying, like, all your crying, like it won't help. You have to speak. So I think it's just a very honest character. So, and then there's this line, it gets me every time. Oh, how similar useless pity is to cruelty. One word at a time, like the character becomes clearer. And I can't sing that truthfully unless I like truly understand every word deeply. Because it really too, I can say this, it serves the music. Mozart wrote with such heartfelt beauty and emotion. And so, for example, that crudeta, he repeats twice, and the way the chords move with the vocal line, really, you can feel the cruelty like in the music. So I'll sing it here. So even if you don't know much about music or music theory or history or the Italian language, I think you can feel it. Like my motto is opera is for everyone. And I think that when a singer does this kind of work, and it really can come to life for the general public. So yeah, I love it. So just a quick accessibility note. I am a blind singer, as I mentioned, so I'm working with Braille. So I read Braille music, and I have the score of the aria digitally available on my Braille Sense Polaris, which is my little tablet here. So I have another document with the translation and the Italian text as well. That document will also include blocking and staging notes. Most of my sighted colleagues put everything in their score. I know because I've asked them. I said, how do you translate stuff and do blocking, and they'll put it in their score. And it's kind of the standard to put everything in the score. But with Braille, the more that's on the page, the harder it is to like navigate and manage. So I like breaking things up, and I have a clean score and then just another document with my materials. So everything that I'm singing, that I sing, I live with and read and analyze and sing for a long time. Long before I ever step into a rehearsal room or a voice lesson or coaching. So like as I mentioned earlier, like this is just step one. And And that's the part that surprises people. Like, translating the aria is just the beginning. Once everything is translated, then I bring that work into my coachings focused on diction and musical interpretation with my pianist, and then lessons with my voice teacher for working on like technical things like my breath support and my jaw staying free and relaxed, and my tongue not pulling back or doing extra things to help me, and then like movement and expression with my acting teacher, and sometimes I'm asked to speak the Italian out loud, or whatever language I'm singing in, and not to perform it, but to really like feel how the language lives in my mouth and body. And as I said, again, knowing the Italian language now for about 18 months has helped with that a lot. Because opera, it's truly not just about singing notes. It's about communicating meaning, telling a story clearly, honestly, and, you know, creating human beings from characters. So, like, how do I communicate to you as the audience who may not know the language or the story? And it starts with doing this work. So I wanted to close just with one more important thing, and that is that an aria isn't just a pretty standalone song. It's a moment in a much bigger story, the entire opera. Thinking about the character in the context of the entire opera, which means every aria is a part of a full character with a relationship, history, and stakes. And sometimes the stakes are low, sometimes, like in most operas, they're very high. So when I prep one aria, I'm really studying just a part of a person, their values, their feelings, their courage in just one moment. Because there's a whole role usually baked in as well. So imagine doing all of this for an entire full-length opera, dozens of scenes, thousands of words in another language, and not just my role, not just my part. I want to know what every character around me is saying, because I want to respond to them and the actions that are going on around me. So it's a lot, and it's also kind of magical, really. It's just, I love what I do. I love what I do. So finally, I just want to close with like, yes, this work is very deep, I know. It's very detailed. It's time consuming, very time consuming, and can be daunting at times. But I love it. I absolutely love it. This isn't boring to me, not even a little bit. This is storytelling at its most precise and powerful. So the next time you hear an opera aria, just know that those 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 8 minutes of music are really hours of thought, curiosity, language, and care, and training. And that's what makes opera so alive and special to me. It's truly a blast. Thanks for being here, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this video, a little sneak peek behind the scenes about what life as an opera singer is like. I'll see you in the next video on Classical Singing Made Simple. Bye, everyone.